Can you speak on what AI is going to do to us in general over the next 5 and 10 years? I mean, obviously Silicon Valley is scrambling. Zuckerberg's paying apparently $100 million signing bonuses. When I worked on Wall Street, I thought we had it good because we were the most, highly paid individuals in the world, and you'd see the signing bonuses and the 3-year deals. I never ever thought that tech would take those numbers and multiply them times 100.
Yeah. So first of all, I would say that in general, when you're building a company, when the only thing that attracts is money, you're building the wrong culture, right? Basically, you're building a mercenary culture. And I think we've seen what happens to societies and companies and cultures that are built on top of mercenaries. They just move to the next one that pays you more, right? In some form or fashion.
Yeah, but
yes, right.
Also a dearth of talent, and every second counts.
Yes, it does. But the thing is that when you pay that kind of money, does it really matter? So there's this whole point around how much money is enough. And yes, there are some people where there's never enough money, right? That's a small percentage of the world. They just happen to focus around Wall Street, right? Just because it's about money. So you're naturally attracting more people in this area. But 99% of the world isn't focused around money as an end in itself. 99% of the world uses money as a means to a particular end. A family, the good relationships, a happy life, the good life, right? Depending on sort of, which philosophy do you ascribe to. Like, these are things you look for, right? And so when you go to most people and you tell them, hey, here's, $1 million. Is that enough for you? They'll probably say, oh, wow, that's enough for me. And they can do stuff with it. It's not enough for people in crypto probably, and it's certainly enough for people in Wall Street. But why? Because they've been comparing themselves against someone else who said my benchmark has to be $100 million. And then when they hit $100 million, they go, actually, my benchmark has to be $1 billion. Says who and why, right? Does it really give you more happiness, right? And so this is why AI is interesting, because AI is not driven by people who are looking at money first.
Peter Thiel took $500,000 and turned it into $1 billion using the exact same techniques we're using inside the investment club. He met a CEO, his name was Zuckerberg. He pitched him the deal and he said, okay, I'll give you $500,000. Mark went public and sold the shares to people like you. Well, what happened to Peter? Well, he exited and got a 2,300x return. The wealthy invest in early stage companies, folks. The public markets are for suckers. It's a rigged game. By the way, this happens in crypto as well. It's called pre-sale tokens. This is Solana. Does anybody know this chain? They sold pre-sale tokens for 4 cents. And you can see the date on there, April 5th, 2018. Look at Solana today, folks. That thing's up over 1,000x. The media and Wall Street and all these hype people get you to buy the top. Meanwhile, they put their clients in at the bottom and they use you for liquidity to make their clients rich. You can play this same game. You just have to have the financial education and the deal flow. That's it.
The researchers, the people who are excited about the space, are building things that they think will change the world. The money is a byproduct of that. That's very Silicon Valley ethos, by the way, right? It's just, I'm building stuff because I think it's going to change the world. And the money is a byproduct of what I'm building. It's not for the money. So
but the money also equals power. And I'm sure Altman thinks about that and Satya Nadella thinks about that.
So while I understand what you mean by that, because money is power, I think the perspective of power as an altruistic form of power is slightly different. We can say, when I had my interaction with Sam, who is, I guess, sort of, you could say an effective altruist, I would say, in his perspective and his views on sort of, universal basic income, which I don't agree with, but I understand, as a construct, I think comes from a good place, right? It doesn't come from a place of, I want to consolidate power, I want to control everything, and I'm going to rule the world. It doesn't have that type of, that impact. It's also not, I don't think it comes from a sense of fear of losing power. I think it's more of, I need this power to generate that, which, by the way, right, can also, sort of lead to disaster as well, to be clear, right? Very few people build, things with the intention of doing harm, right? They all have good intentions. And then somewhere in between, they start coming to this moral dilemma of, okay, this looks slightly bad, but at the greater scale of things, I think it's a better outcome, right? But I would say that, again, their perspectives, I think, have a much more, let's say, I think they care about the legacy. They care about how they're remembered. I think they care about humanity. And I think there's or about the communities, whatever that is. So I do think that matters. There are a smaller portion of people who are truly just about power, right? And of course, there's this sort of famous old saying that I said on your show as well, the famous adage, absolute power corrupts absolutely as well, right? So once you're drunk on that power, right, then you might do things that you wouldn't normally do because suddenly you can act with impunity. And some people might criticize certain sort of, business leaders around the world to be acting this particular way. But even people who sort of critique Musk, at the end of the day, I don't think his intentions are around wanting to do bad things, right? Like when the US government basically sort of was spending and not giving sort of the things that he thought Doge was going to do, it didn't seem to be about power. At that point, it was like, that's rubbish, right? So they will speak out on what they think is right.
Hey, I know investing in crypto is scary. It takes a real leap of faith because there are so many scams, rug pulls, and bad actors out there. It's a dangerous business, which is why 95% of people lose all their money. Well, that's why I created the London Real Investment Club, so you can access the hottest deals on the planet and use the crypto bull market to create the generational wealth that you deserve. Join my team of over 100 people from around the world that are making millions of dollars behind the scenes investing in blockchain, AI, Web3 games, DeFi, Bitcoin, and more. Don't miss out. Click the link below to book a call with one of my team now. But hurry, this bull market will end soon.
I know investing in crypto can be scary. That's why you gotta join the investment club. Pull the trigger. Let's do this.